Hello, welcome back to Greenhill Junction. New year, new video. I'm still here. I've just had a lot of work to do to the layout. I've reconfigured about a quarter of it. So keep watching and you'll see what I've done and what has changed. Alright, welcome back to the layout. The last video, which was 3-4 months ago, was finishing off this upper station. And then after that, I decided that I didn't like the bridges end of the layout and decided to completely reconfigure it, which, as per usual with my layout, turned into a mammoth task that took a long time, and plus I was away for 3 weeks on a holiday of a lifetime checking in Nepal. So that's why things have taken a wee bit longer, but the bridge end I thought was going to be a case of sort of lifting and laying some track and changing it a wee bit. It turned into a complete rebuild. Unfortunately, I did do a sort of introduction video as to why I was doing it and what my plans were, and I've somehow managed to delete that. So I don't want to spoil the surprise for you seeing what's been done. So the next video you're going to see is me having completed the tabletops for the little extension I did to the baseboards, and then the sort of destruction and rebuilding of the bridge end. And then the last video I'll show you what we've done. I'll go through the reasons why I've done it, and then we'll have a running session just to finish it all off. So apologies for deleting that video, and I'll hand back to myself from probably the start of November when I'm building the tabletops, and you'll see the progress that's been done over the past few months. Alright, thanks for watching. Alright, welcome back. I've got the tabletops done. Just made them the way I made everything else. It's proved to be pretty sturdy and certainly hasn't warped in the 3 years or 2-3 years, however long this has been up. So it's just 12mm ply with CLS battening, as you can see. It's all glued and screwed in the top, and then there's a big bolt that goes through and into that to keep the frame together. Legs and angle bits are down there. There's only 2 legs because I only need one for each table, because the tables are going to be supported by this on this side. Again, I've got the extended legs on the bottom, so I can adjust the heights. So now I need to sort out lifting all this track. I've been looking particularly at this end. I'm going to have to lift the track right up to these junctions, and I think that curve point is going to have to come out because that curve is going to start a lot later. So I think this will have to get reconfigured a little bit. Hopefully just a smaller medium radius straight point goes in there, and then all that can get sorted out. So fortunately I've got a very handy gap there, so that's just going to get cut there and move back. And I need to figure something out over here, but I'll probably raise the tracks right up to there, and then I can just get a jigsaw across wherever I need to cut. This side's going to be a bit more problematic, lower level, because I've ballasted it all, but I'll just need to soak it and hopefully lift it, because I really don't want to damage the cork too much. And the other problem I've got is I'm pretty sure that I glued these down. So my plan is to just get a really flat sharp knife and probably wet it a little bit as well, and just gradually slide it under and hopefully chop the glue, because it's just PVA. And then once all that's cleared, get the bridges lifted away, move that table back, and I'll need to get rid of that temporarily, and then get the other tables fitted. I still need to cork these. That's the only job that needs to be done on that. So yeah, I'll basically get this end of the layout cleared, and then get the tables fitted, and we can see what we're left with. So back in a bit. Right, a fair bit of deconstruction has taken place today. I've got this top end of the layout cleared with pretty much no damage to anything, which is good. So hopefully I'll be able to reuse the track. That's the stuff that came up from that side. Just a case of wetting the ballast with water and just letting it soak in, and then it scraped up fine just with a chisel. I've left those two bits in there because the back two lines will be kind of going up that way, so no need to lift them all the way to that junction. That got chopped just at a straight section, and I've just placed it over there as a kind of idea as to where it might go. Over here, took apart this junction, still deciding exactly what's going to happen over here. This point is going to have to get taken out. However, it's connected into one of the auto frogs under there. So I am figuring out how best to take this apart without damaging anything, and so I can reuse that point and the auto frog. And also what's going to happen here. So I'm either just going to cut that into a straight section, or I was thinking even cutting that entire board away there, but then all these electrics are attached to that section and they're going to come in handy. So I think the more likely option is I'm just going to take that edge off. So that's why I've left that kind of sitting there, because I still need to think about that. All the bridges came out undamaged with their track still attached, which is good. And I just need to figure out, well, I need to get the tables in now, move that back, and then I've got a true idea of space. And I think what's going to have to happen is I shall lay the outer lower tracks first, and that gives me a kind of idea where that's going to go. And then I can figure out everything around it. And again, I think that junction might need to, the lower junction that is, might need a wee bit of reconfiguring. So what I'm going to do is put in, well, the Metcalf bridge. That's going to be the back bridge. That's going to be for the lower, the outer lower line. But the bridge is purely just going in to bridge that gap. It's never going to be seen again. Like I say, these lines are going to go through a tunnel somewhere on either side. So I just figured it was just easier to put that bridge back in and use it for that purpose. But yeah, things are maybe a little bit tighter than I thought it was going to be, but I'll not know until the new extension goes in either side, and then I can figure it out. So it'll either go to plan, or the plans will change, to be quite honest, to see what best fits. So let's get the tables in and get an idea of the space that I have left. Right, welcome back. Things are taking a wee bit longer than planned. There's been a few changes to the plan, but got the lower level down on the station side at least. Got the bridges moved about, and sorry, quite sunny today, but I think that's going to be a much nicer view, seeing the 4 trains going across there, and also seeing the 2 bridges as well. So let's change this side. Well, there was a lot less room than I thought I had to start with, despite that table being moved back a foot. So I didn't have room to get the other point in there, to get another siding going on for the locos, because the curve basically had to start just off that point. So I got a nice gentle curve round to the blue bridge. The tracks have been up and down a couple of times as I've adjusted things. So this track has straightened out. You can actually see, the old curve going around there. So it's straightened out, and the idea is that round about where that tunnel mouth is will be a tunnel. I may straighten out further, because you can see like the gap between the track and the edge of the table sort of increases as it goes towards the tunnel. I'm going to have to completely rebuild the upper section. So once I've done that, these two tracks might straighten up and just run parallel with the edge of the table. It really depends how the tunnel mouth's going to fit in. I think it might stay as it is, just because I need the room to bring up the upper level and come around there to the red bridge. This side is just proven to be a task and a half. So curve point is out of there. I've ordered a medium radius left hand point, which is a normal straight point, just because I want the curve to come out and then come into the blue bridge, and the curve point was pulling it in too close to that. The curve point is now going there, so that point's just about to come out, to basically bring that, curve that in earlier, up to the bridge behind the red bridge. So it goes away from the upper level. If I move this out the way just now, up here is getting a complete and utter redesign, which is annoying because I designed this with all the electronics underneath, so I'm still figuring out how to sort of use that the best I can. So that point's coming out, that point's coming out, that's just about out. The main lines are gonna curve in, and the incline is gonna come up and join there on a medium radius left hand point. That point and that point are then going to be put in somewhere here as a crossover between the two tracks. So the idea is that anything coming up and down the incline can pretty much straight away get to its correct track with minimum of fuss, and then it will curve round and join onto the red bridge. So this side also needs to be completely redesigned. I'm hoping that once I sort of curve those tracks back, I can just chop this. Well, actually, I'm going to do that because this is all ballasted and I don't want to start wetting that and picking it up and all that. So this is just going to get cut, and then a new upper level section will get designed to fit in there. So it's proven to be a lot more work than I had originally planned. It's taken a lot longer than I originally planned, but you know, I'll get there. Hopefully get it up and running for Christmas. That's certainly the plan. But we'll see how it goes, because the track line is taking forever because I keep on changing my mind or realising one idea doesn't work and having to come up with another idea. But that's where we are so far. So I'll just get on with doing the track line and hopefully at least get the lower levels running. So see how it goes. I'll come back when there's a wee bit more done. Right, welcome back. So the other side of the layout, lower level, is now done. The side with all the sidings and the goods yards and all that. So this actually went a lot smoother than that side, and a lot quicker. Probably because I had a better idea of what I was doing and what I was wanting from doing the other side. So as I said in the previous clip, straight left hand medium radius point in there instead of the curve point. Curve point has now moved up there in place of, I think it was a short radius point that was in there. So it got the two inner tracks, nice curve round onto the blue bridge, and now the two outer tracks, you can see where they used to go up there, that shadow, and then in. So that curve actually, it gives it a nice wee profile, just going up there, slight curve, and then straight, and then round onto the old Metcalf viaduct that's at the back there. So it's all wired up, it's all working. I've been running trains on it the past couple of days. It all works fine, it all looks good when it's running, no issues at all, which is very pleasing. And now it's on to getting the two upper levels back in. So I've just cut the MDF for that sort of section there, and then I can just put in a little joiner there. So I'm going to lay it down flat on the lower level, plan the track, get it raised up, put the track on, and then work in the electronics. The only thing that's going to delay me is my left hand radius point. left hand medium radius point hasn't arrived yet, and neither has the auto frog I need for the additional point that's going up here. So I am working around that by getting everything else done, and then hopefully that arrives sometime soon whenever Royal Mail decide to clear their warehouses, and we can get everything up and running. So get on with the upper level now. Okay, welcome back. Starting to get there now. Made some really good progress. So I've got the new upper level in from the station round to the Red Bridge. I just need to shave off a wee edge here because this bit's, the old bit's just a bit too wide for the new plan. But get a nice profile from the station going around that sweeping curve to the bridge. And I mind I said about that kinking away, I wasn't sure about it. It's actually worked out really well because I can get that tunnel in there quite nicely for these tracks to then disappear into what will be the back scene, and then I can just build a nice sort of hillside there. So yeah, that's all in now, and it's running. I've run the trains up onto the Red Bridge and back because it's the track to nowhere right now. So this side, that curve is a carbon copy of that curve section, because, well, the bridge is equidistant, it's in the middle of the layout, so that side, thankfully, because my joinery worked out, was exactly the same as that side, so that made life a bit simpler for putting that in, and that'll be exactly the same curves going in there as I've got there, which I think was something like a somewhere between a 19 and 20 inch curve on the inside, and then I think a 22 on the outside. Over here, final planning going in for this junction. I'm still waiting for that medium radius left hand point to get delivered. It's hopefully on its way. The first one got lost in the post, so the retailer very kindly sent me another one. So this is the plan if I take you up above it. So 2 lines coming in here from the bridge, and then we'll have a crossover straight away, and then the medium radius left hand point goes in there. If you go straight on, takes you down the incline or up the incline, whichever way it's going. Outside track curves in or out, whichever way you're looking at it. I keep on saying in for some reason, and joins the left hand point there, and then continues on round. That track, call it inside, outside, whatever you want, follows the same curve, then straightens up straight through that point and continues on there. That point there is getting left because, to be honest, it was more hassle than it's worth to take it out. With the auto frog being underneath there, I just couldn't get access to it, and let's say more hassle than it's worth to take out, so it's staying there. That will not connect to anything, but I thought, you know what, there's probably railways about where they've changed the configuration of junctions, and in real life they've just thought, stuff it, not taking that point out, and just left it, so it'll be there as an ode to the old junction. So this board, it will be that as wide as this board up here, but then it'll generally just follow the curve of the track and curve in to the width of that, which is 12 centimetres, and then that'll keep the upper level well clear of these tracks, and it'll give me the opportunity to get a bridge tunnel in here, so then those tracks will disappear and go into the back scene. So really all I'm waiting on here is, well, a dry day to get out and cut the wood outside, because I don't want to cut MDF indoors, and that point, and then as soon as that arrives, get this cut, get the points in, get it flipped over, the auto frog's fitted, power to them, fit the board, and we're good to go. Right, we are done. Everything is now in place. I have briefly tested the upper level and it works. I do have a slight issue there. There's a kind of bump at that join, which, to be quite honest, I'm too tired today to bother investigating and to fix it. But yeah, everything's done. Electrics are in, no short circuits, and yeah, I'm really pleased. I think it looks a lot better. It certainly runs nice, and now I have a lovely view of the two bridges. So let's go back to why I did this, because obviously I deleted that video like a numpty. So you may remember that the red bridge, so we had the Metcalf, no in fact the red bridge was at the front, then there was a Metcalf bridge in between, and then blue bridge at the back. So when I sat down to watch the trains, the red bridge just got in the way of the other the other 4 tracks even. And that kind of annoyed me. So I decided to reconfigure the bridges, which led to a complete reconfiguration of the track. The other thing that was annoying me was this junction over here. Now you may remember, I will try and get a photo in, that came out there. At that point there was a crossover, double slip, into another point, and then there was a siding up there. That junction just wasn't working for me. I could never remember which way the double slip was meant to go. You get trains across, things were derailing, the double slip itself was, I don't know, it was really uneven, things were bouncing across it, and it just absolutely bugged my happiness. So I decided it was going to go, and to be honest, this was the biggest task, because as you can see, it's a complete reconfiguration. It was a reconfiguration of the electrics underneath, because all these points have auto frogs on them. That point's still got an auto frog on it, because it was far too much effort to get under there to get it, and I certainly wasn't taking all this away, so I decided just to leave that. So this junction is now the incline coming up into a medium radius left hand point, and if the train's going that way, it can just run straight across. If it's going on the inner loop, then it can run across there and then go about its way going that way. The outer track now just curves in, and then it continues on, and that point predominantly is going to be switched for the outer track, because you know that's the way the trains are going to run, and the inner track follows that path and just goes straight through that point. Got 2 nice gentle curves into the red bridge. It's pretty much mimicked on this side. Got the gentle curves again, and then comes along. There's no crossover or anything, but there's the little kink that was always there into the upper station. I do have room to get tunnel mouth in, certainly on that side, and then I'll put backboards along behind here. So these 2 tracks will go behind the back scene. Because they're just essentially not required now, and I'll have the back scene running along there and down there. So there'll be I'd imagine a hillside coming down, and then coming down there onto this tunnel. So I still do have a sort of the tracks over tracks that I really like. So I've got train tracks running over other tracks, and the trains will disappear in the tunnel. So I think that'll be really, really nice. The inside lines curve around nice and gentle across the blue bridge, and then curve back. New left hand medium radius point in there, curve points moved up there to bring that in, and again I'm hoping to get a tunnel mouth in there somewhere. Certainly that the sort of opposite one of that doesn't fit over here, so I have to design one myself, or I'll try and find one online somewhere. So again, I'll have those 2 disappearing in the tunnel behind the back scene, and then they'll trundle along and then come back out there. And yeah, so the inside lines just do the same. So the bottom, there's not too much change to the bottom lines. You can see from the shadows that it's a little bit longer now, the layout. Oh yeah, that's what I should have said as well. So I did have a kind of viewing gallery in here, but I very rarely went into it, so I had like a strip all the way along there, and I could duck under that table and then get a long view down the layout. And to be honest, I very rarely used it. It was just a hassle to get under. I couldn't sit there, I had to just stand in the corner. So I decided to fill in that gap by building the extra baseboards, which start there and go to there. To give extra room, that table got moved back a foot, and you can see from my scribblings when I originally done this layout where the tracks have moved back to. Certainly the inner line has, you can see that, and you can see that actually the old outer line is now where the inner lines are. So I've extended it by a foot, and I've actually got easier access to the window and the curtains now than I had before, so it's all worked out good. I've not really lost anything at all. So yeah, that's been the work for the past few months. It's just taking time, particularly rebuilding the upper level, because this is all brand new. I had to rebuild everything. I couldn't keep anything just because the geometry completely changed. So pretty much from there right the way around to there has been rebuilt wood-wise, and then the sort of track got taken up back to there to get this new junction in. So yeah, it's been a lot of work, a lot more than I expected, but I really like what I've got. I really enjoy the view of the bridges now. I'm sure it'll look great once I get the scenery done and get the tunnels in either side. And this junction runs like a dream now, and it's really simple. I don't have to think about what I need to switch. It's 3 points and it's really easy to work. And all the auto frogs are in underneath, as you can see. So thanks for sticking around when I haven't been doing videos. I've gained a few new subscribers while there's been radio silence, so welcome. Sorry for the delay in getting some content up. And let's just have a running session with the new track. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. I think the next project is going to be sort of sneaking up this area. Don't know how long that's going to take, but when I've got something to show you, I will get a video up. So yep, thanks very much. If you like the video, give it a like, give it a share, and enjoy the running session. Cheers, bye.